So, to give us the welcome and the introduction, we have our head of guidance and counseling and testing office, um, Miss Christina Gracia D. Meron.
Work has drastically changed because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have moved towards a hybrid office where we are now working remotely most of the time, if not all the time. And this work from home setup actually has a lot of advantages, such as the flexible work schedule, and also we can get things done no matter where we are. However, the work from home setup may also not be for everyone. Some may actually experience fatigue because they need to work in front of their laptops or in front of the screen for longer hours. And also, some may really have a hard time working remotely because they don't have their supervisors or their colleagues and teammates around. And we kind of miss that face to face interaction with our coworkers. Also, some may actually experience having that difficulty attaining the work and life balance. And it's really very difficult at this point because it's hard to delineate the work from the home environment when we are working from home. And all of these work from home experiences may actually affect our mental health. And with all this being said, I would like to welcome you all for our for today's Wellness Hub Kamustahan session entitled Signs of Work from Home Depression, a Digital Wellness View. And this is actually our resource speakers research which was presented and submitted at the 15th Global Business Conference. And I'm proud to say that our resource speaker is a dedicated and compassionate member of the PWU community, and he's none other than Mr. Nelson B. Gillian. Sir Nelson is a part-time assistant professorial lecturer at DLSU Graduate School of Business and currently the marketing and admissions manager of the Philippine Women's University. His current research interests focus on social media marketing, consumer behavior, and customer analytics. Sir Nelson finished his Master of Science in Marketing at De La Salle University, and he's continuing professional education online at Arizona State University. And at present, he is a PhD in business student at DLSU Manila. He is also a Coursera community mentor and a peer reviewer of journals such as the Asian Education and Development Studies and Advances in Journalism and Communication. Once again, let us all welcome Mr. Nelson B. Gillian.
Ayan. So for this afternoon, ayan po, I would like now to give the floor to our resource speaker.
Hello. Is it my turn?
Yes, over to
Good
you, sir.
afternoon. Yes, mabuhay. And well, I hope you guys are doing well. Okay. Allow me to share my screen. This is actually the manuscript that I presented at the 15th Global Business Conference last May, and it will be published later this year. Okay. So, yes, let me start. So you might be wondering why is it that I decided to, make a study regarding this topic, no? Um, well, one reason is that I experienced this work from home depression. Early months of the pandemic or the lockdown, it's good actually. I can watch TV while working. I can do this and that. But on the 11th and 12th month, maybe because I'm alone and my mom is not with me, I feel lonely, and the energy that I have in the past is not the same as before. And I also noticed that my colleagues and even my subordinates, they are not as active as they used to be. And as an educator, I also noticed that some of my students are having a hard time coping with the lessons, and frequently they are absent. So, what went wrong? Is this something normal, or is it just all in the mind? That's why I come up with this particular topic: signs of work from home depression, a digital wellness view. Disclaimer: it's a sign of work from home depression because before you tag a person with depression, with anxiety, and uh, and stress, it should be certified at least by a medical doctor, a psychologist, or perhaps a psychiatrist. Okay, so that's why it will be signs of work from home depression. So the purpose of this research is to explore the mental health and well-being of employees in the technological world in the time of pandemic. Specifically, this study seeks to understand the factors and signs that can contribute to employee depression while working from home. And we are all working from home. And of course, for our HRD, Human Resource Department, to further understand where we are coming from in line with the employee value proposition. As they say, you can't give what you don't have. How can you um, attract, engage, and delight your target market, your customers, if you yourself is unwell? Okay. So overview, depression is now classed as the main cause of disability worldwide. And an estimated 3.3 people in every 100 in Asia have depression, according to the World Health Organization. It is important to understand depression in the time of COVID 19 due to the blurring lines of work life balance, including its context as well as perspective, to be able to empathize with the organization's workforce. The work life balance that we want, our what we want to have in the past, um, it's something that it's difficult to attain because you don't know when are you working, or maybe are you resting, or you're doing both, not to mention the distractions as well as the very slow internet that we have in the Philippines. Now, for the review of related literature, since this is an original research, the coronavirus is presenting a new and unique challenges. We are navigating actually with uncharted waters with this virus, making it important to find new ways to work and interact while also taking care of our mental health and well-being. I am very happy and glad that the management of Philippine Women's University allowed us to work remotely and to work from home so that we are all safe, and at the same time we can cater to our employees despite of the situation that we are into right now. Many are actually working either part-time or full-time for the first time, isolated from coworkers, friends, and family. I'm one of them. The daily living routines are disrupted, causing added anxiety, stress, strain, whether physically, mentally, and financially. Um, the lockdown may not be the same for all. If left uncontrolled, these factors can lead to depression. So, what do we mean first by work from home? This is not really a new concept. The work from home concept was initially mentioned by Niles in 1988. So it was back in 1973, known as telecommuting or telework. Okay, work from home was defined in various terms over the last 4 decades as remote work, flexible workplace, telework, telecommuting, and e-working. Now, according to Gagendran and Harrison 2007, it is defined as an alternative work arrangement in which bona fide or bona fide employees perform tasks elsewhere that are normally done in offices for at least a part of their work schedule using new media to interact within and outside the organization. They indicated the word, they coined the word elsewhere, it refers to home. And if you notice, for the BPO, for the sunshine industry in the Philippines, at least most of the companies there, they have a work from home arrangement once a week. That was before the pandemic. So this is actually a practice even in the past. Okay, so it's not new. So let's talk about the self-esteem and drawbacks of work from home arrangement. It's not a bed of roses at all. Work from home include the blurred line between work and family, including distractions, social isolation, employees bearing the cost of the work from home. Like for example, you don't have an internet connection, you're using prepaid, you have to pay for it, and in the Philippines, there's what you call data capping. Okay, that's according to Porwanto et al. 2020. There
Sir
are no
Nathan,
yes, yes,
if I may ask, are you already
okay,
sharing your slides or
yes, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
we're not seeing your slide?
Oh, I'm so sorry
Oh,
about that. Okay,
okay lang yan, sir.
okay.
Kamusta? Kamusta ang slides mo?
It's here. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So can you see it now?
Not
Not yet.
not
Okay.
yet.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Okay. So keep on talking. Wala palang slides. Okay.
Akala ko
All
kasi sir
right. Okay.
you're doing your intro.
Okay. Okay. No. 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 Sige.
Kaya nga pinipwersa nila ako maglabas ng slides. Alaga, sir.
Can you see it now?
Yes po.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So sorry for the long intro. So that's the purpose of my research. Okay. And that's the overview. Okay. Just to give you a quick recap, it was declared by the WHO as the main cause of disability worldwide. Okay. There's actually a blurring lines of work and life balance because we don't know whether we're working or we're resting. Okay. And of course, to empathize with our organization's workforce, because the pandemic is affects all of us, no? And the coronavirus being, a pest, something that you know, presenting new and unique challenges to us. Well, we are finding ways to work and interact while also taking care of our mental health. And some of us are either working part time or full time. The daily living routines are disrupted, causing added anxiety, stress, and strain. If left uncontrolled, this can lead to depression. Okay, so work from home by definition, this is not new. Okay, so it was telecommuting in the past or telework. According to Gahendra and Harrison, well, it allows employees to work somewhere else. Okay, so ano ba yung self-esteem drawbacks of work from home? Depression. Of course, we mentioned the blurring lines, and not to mention the varying cost of having an stable internet connection. Maybe you don't have a fiber connection yet. You're using your data, mobile data, or perhaps a prepaid Wi-Fi. So it's not expensive. It's not cheap. Knowing that in the Philippines, data capping is very very evident. So we don't have unlimited internet connection. If there is, then the speed is actually compromised. Okay. And also, according to Collins and Moschler 2009, they found out that workers that are isolated from their colleagues and managers may manifest or can manifest low productivity. Employees might be distracted by the presence of their children or family members, while working at home, along with the indistinct boundaries between work and family life, which may lead to overwork. Okay, so those are the challenges or the drawbacks of the work from home arrangement. Now, when you say work from home related stress, stress is defined as a state of mental and emotional pressure or strain caused by challenging and unfavorable circumstances. Stress represents a situation where a person is under pressure and does not have sufficient ability to cope. Okay, especially with some offices that there's what you call peak season, that they have tons of workload and they have to cater to this and that, do this and that in order to hit their quota or target or KPI for that particular period. Switching to work from home actually is favorable to white collar job than to those who are into blue collar jobs. Okay. However, information on actual work from home behavior of employees shows a little relationship with employee outcomes. Home based workers are actually hard hit industries, okay, because they became unemployed. That's why ang dami nag-go online selling. Okay. Uh, and then I will be discussing some constructs of my manuscript, the impact and susceptibility. Okay. So later on, I'll be presenting my conceptual framework on how did I manage to compute statistically for the results. Okay. So the other constructs here, or the as well as the variables that affects my study, would be HR support, because HR is there not to police us, but to monitor what we're doing, how are we doing at times. Okay, so also to understand our current situation. Okay, when you say susceptibility to depression, it doesn't mean that if you possess or if you have all those factors that contribute to depression that you are really depressed. No, it only goes to show that you are just highly susceptible. Why? Again, because I mentioned a while ago that there it should be certified by a medical doctor for you to be declared uh, to be experiencing depression. Okay, and then when you say occupational impact of depression, according to studies, according to Maletic et al. 2007, that your brain is actually shrinking if you are experiencing depression. And of course, the psychological and behavioral impact. Okay, so this is not a a paper on heavy on psychology, but I just want to tackle a little background of the psychological and behavioral impact of the manuscript. When you say psychological impact, um, it goes to show that depression is a psychological disorder, and so it is invariably um, have an impact to all of us. It may not be the same for everyone, but the key feature of the psychological impact is that depression has its negative thoughts that the person will experience. For some people, not achieving a goal can lead to thoughts that they have failed in that activity. For example, if somebody told you that you failed in a particular assessment, this will provide a negative emotion and ultimately will not be a pleasant emotional experience. But again, it varies because a particular person might experience negativity, while if you tell that to another individual, he or she may see it constructively as a challenge to cope and to be able to do better next time. Okay. For the physiological impact of depression, it says that those people who are experiencing depression, um, they are experiencing severe headaches and unusual vomiting. Okay, and then also for depression, comorbidity is also a factor to consider. If you have other there are other diseases that affects your well-being, like for example, if you have diabetes, or if you have, let's say, um, thyroid problems, it can also trigger depression. Okay. So is it really sadness or depression? It is quite normal to feel sad at points in your life. We're human beings, okay? If something has gone wrong, or if you have not achieved something that you were hoping to, or if you suffer a loss or a bereavement, which we don't want to happen, okay? Sadness is natural. But if you say prolonged sadness, if you're experiencing this for quite some time, let's say more than, or let's say 3 to 4 weeks or even months, then that can be a sign of depression. So, what are the symptoms of depression? Okay, reduce concentration and attention. Okay, letter B, reduce self-esteem and self-confidence. Feeling mo hindi ka na ganun ka-effective than before. Okay, ideas of guilt and unworthiness, even in a mild type of episode. Bleak and pessimistic views of the future, wala nang pag-asa, ganito na lang tayong lahat. Ideas or acts of self-harm or suicide. For me, this is the worst. Okay, but then again, it's how we rebuke those negative thoughts. Disturbed sleep. I experienced this. That's why if I can't sleep, uh, I normally turn on my laptop and reply to emails. Okay, that's why according to Miss Maha, our former web admin director, uh, she was surprised early in the morning that I have tons of emails as early as 5 in the morning because I can't sleep. So maybe this is the reason why. Okay, and then diminished appetite. Well, not for me at least. Okay, I have an appetite pa. Okay, but diminished appetite is one of the symptoms of depression according to WHO. So according to Primachuk of 2011, he classified depression. He calls it the continuum of depression into mild, moderate, and severe. Okay, we might be experiencing mild, of course, but if this is something moderate or severe, then I think we need to seek medical help. Because in the Philippines, if you say you consult a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they have this stereotype or judgment na you're suffering from, you have a mental health condition, agad-agad, okay? Um, that's something that we can actually change, okay? Especially for the younger for the young people. Okay, it's how you change what is actually customary, especially with stereotyping, because it's not good. Okay, so mild depression, low risk, and optimism about the future. This is temporary impact of life and care. But when you say moderate depression, low to moderate risk with fluctuating hopelessness, ngayon, okay ako, baka next week hindi, or baka, there's what you call inconsistencies, potentially significant impact on quality of life and care. But when you say severe depression, depressive illness, persistent high risk in hopelessness, enduring impact on quality of life and care, and recurrent relapse. Okay, so they are categorized. Hindi porket depression, it's just depression. No, we just have to categorize it into mild, moderate, and severe. Okay. Now, what do we mean by digital wellness and employee value proposition? Digital wellness refers to the physical and psychosocial well-being of people in the digital world, because we are exposed to a lot of content. We are exposed to different gadgets, and we want to make sure that there is still what you call balance in everything. Okay, achieving balance in line with employee value proposition is still a relevant characteristic of a healthy employees. Employee value proposition meaning this is our it is embedded in our culture, our core values, the things that we prioritize, because this is what we want to communicate to our customers. That PWU, for example, PWU employees are customer friendly, and we take care of our clients. So we want, in order for you to be a customer centric company or organization, it should first reflect on its employees, and that's employee value proposition. Okay. Now, the theoretical framework of this manuscript, I adopted the framework from Ratana Siripong from Thailand. He hypothesized that stress positively affects depression, while social support and self esteem negatively affect depression. So, this is the theoretical framework, the basis of my study, the foundation manuscript. Now, since I want to align it with what's happening right now, with the global pandemic, and of course with the impact of depression, I have my conceptual framework, or in other books you call it operational framework. The researcher, yours truly, enhanced the existing model, taking into consideration of the current influence of the pandemic. This research updates the study or the research model of Ratana Siripong by adding COVID-19 quarantine protocols as a moderating variable between stress, HR support, self esteem, depression, and later on its effect on employee value proposition. So, this is how it looks like. Ayan. So I have added COVID-19 protocols as a moderating variable, and then effect on employee value proposition, extending further the framework. Okay. So what are the hypotheses? Okay. My hypotheses are the following. Work from home stress positively affects depression signs. Hypothesis 2, HR support negatively affects depression signs. Hypothesis 3, self-esteem negatively affects depression. And then you have the moderating variable with the following hypothesis. COVID-19 protocols moderate the relationship between work from home related stress and depression signs, as well as um HR support, self-esteem, and employee value proposition, to make the long story short. Okay, so these are the hypotheses. The background factors, who are the respondents of this study, because this is a quantitative research. 21 to 75 years old. So I clustered them whether they belong to Gen Z, um, Gen Y, or the millennials. Is it younger or older millennial? And then I included Gen X as well. Okay, teaching and non-teaching associates, entry level and middle managers. Of course, we also check the internet connectivity and whether they are doing work from home. Location, Metro Manila and Greater Manila area. Who are the participants? PWU employees, World City Colleges in North Manila, Neocomtronics, it's a training center, and the De La Salle College of St. Benilde in Antipolo. So the methodology, I use survey research method here. Okay. Of course, I conducted a survey. Okay. So this research allows various methods to recruit participants, collect data, and utilize multiple instrumentation methods. So as it is often used to describe and explore human behavior, surveys are frequently used in social and psychological research. Primary data, of course, online research, purposive sampling. Secondary data to support findings came from scholarly articles and similar studies. The results. Okay, I know you've been waiting for this. Okay, so let's check. Ano yung results? Okay. Work from home related stress. Okay. This figure shows that regarding work from home related stress, employees working from home are pressured to work long hours. Okay, although they knew their deliverables for the day, they just don't know when to take a break. Okay, It's a 4-point Likert scale, as you can see here. They have to keep moving as they have a family to support. The survey shows that employees work more than 9 hours daily and are experiencing intermittent internet connection. Okay. HR support. What do they say? Okay. For HR support, uh, HR is trying its best to reach out and support their employees. The employees do acknowledge the virtual visibility, excuse me, and readiness to help of their HR department. About self-esteem, it signifies that employees who work from home are mostly educators and non-teaching staff from the academe. Of course, they feel inefficient and useless most of the time, okay? But they knew that everything will be all right after the pandemic. Overall, they still have high hopes. About COVID 19 protocols, the survey shows it signifies that the employees are complying with the quarantine protocols despite of their negative feelings. Even though they feel sad, they feel hopeless, they still follow. They still follow the quarantine protocols like physical distancing, wearing masks, washing your hands. They are abiding with the instructions given by their local and national government. Really interesting. Now, for depression, it shows that these are actually the questions. I'm trying to simplify. I'm trying to consolidate the answers. Okay, it shows the susceptibility of employees to depression from a simple anxiety and stress. Compliance on certain tasks takes longer than the usual, unlike before. They are emotionally worried with the news. Okay, they felt that there is no joy in life anymore. Symptoms include lack of sleep, trust issues with friends and family members. They feel agitated or irritated most of the time. Excuse me. Now, is there an effect on employee value proposition? Okay. According to my to the results, okay, it illustrates that employees working from home were able to deliver what is expected from them despite how they feel. So it it appears that they can fake it, okay, even though that they are not feeling well, okay, and then at the same time they feel the support of their company and will keep going regardless of the working condition. However, the respondents also mentioned that they are open and will check possible job openings from other companies in the future. So they are open for other career opportunities because possible pala na mag-work from home. Okay? So those are the findings, quick findings. And then, of course, how many hours do you spend working at home per day? Well, it's 91.6% says that they are working 9 hours and above. Okay. When is the best time to work for them? It really varies. There's no specific 8 to 5 rule here. Okay. So others mentioned afternoon, evening, but 30.5% anytime. And then purpose of using social media on a daily basis, there are a lot. Okay, connect with family members, online classes, graduate school, news and information, communication with peers and colleagues, webinars, video streaming, selfies, online diary, entertainment. So there are so many things that they can do on social media. Oh, by the way, before I forget, we have compared the technological adaptability between the young and the old employees. Um, re- well, based on the assessment that the uh, the older employees, um, although they lack that technological proficiency, but they are willing to learn and they are more positive than the younger employees. Maybe because they were born before the time of Google, and they have a coping mechanism. They have a strong coping mechanism. Okay, because maybe because of age. Okay, so that could be a factor. So now let's go to the evaluation of the structural model. I use Smart PLS for this, structural equation modeling, okay, to test the validity and reliability of my samples. Okay, Smart PLS is a software with a graphical user interface for variant-based structural equation modeling using the partial least square. It allows you to observe even latent constructs. So as you can see here, the latent constructs: work from home, HR support, self-esteem, COVID-19 protocols, depression signs, and even if employee value proposition or EVP, they have a high conduct alpha. Okay? And it also affects the row A and composite reliability. So it means that the questionnaire, well, they're basically okay. Now, here's the evaluation of the structural model. Okay. The hypothesis that I have mentioned a while ago, majority of them were rejected, except H1, which shows that work from home stress positively affects depression. As you can see here, it's the one with the green p-value. Okay, p-value less than 0.05 is statistically significant, while a p-value higher than 0.05 is not statistically significant. Okay, so lahat rejected except for H1. Okay, because the work from home stress can really trigger depression, but HR support, self-esteem, um, it doesn't affect depression, and even COVID-19 protocols. They feel that they really have to follow despite of the circumstance, and they want to stay alive. Okay, so it has nothing to do with the employee value proposition. We can still perform. Employees can still perform regardless of the situation. Okay, so they have to work. So discussion here. The results show that work from home stress is a predictor of depression, which validates the depression model of Ratana Siripong. Work from home stress is due to the blurring lines of work-life balance, with 92% working more than 9 hours daily while experiencing intermittent internet connection. However, HR support and self-esteem are insignificant. Although support from HR is somewhat limited, the fluctuating self-esteem leading to depression is short-lived. In addition, COVID-19 protocols are automatic among work from home employees, regardless of how they feel. It doesn't mediate the relationship between depression signs, stress, self-esteem, and HR support. Employees can still deliver and perform because they need to have a source of living in order to support their families. With the gradual opening of the economy, but this is actually a manuscript made last May, no? But hindi siya gradual opening, so this should be revised, no? But then back then, with the gradual lifting of ECQ to GCQ, it allows more movement of people, which can be an additional motivation for work from home employees. Now, for the conclusion, we all experience stress and short-term depression. We may not know it, but Filipino employees are generally resilient because we have a family to support. That's one. The study contributes to existing literature by providing information about the signs of work from home depression and its impact on employee value proposition. This will also help HR further understand what employees are experiencing nowadays. For the recommendation, digital wellness is about understanding the limitation of employees on what they can and cannot do. Okay? Setting boundaries on the amount of work given per employee would be beneficial to mental health and well-being in the long run. It talks about acceptance that the COVID-19 pandemic is an extraordinary time. Okay, there's actually uh, a few responses in the survey that says that whenever they hear Messenger, the sound of Messenger and Viber, natatakot na sila. Parang feeling nila, trabaho na naman to. So, those things, something that we really have to face. But then again, it's we have to embrace it. So we have no choice but to really work, and let's accept the fact that there are things that we cannot control. So what can the HR primarily do here? Okay, um, they can do a lot of things. No, first is social listening, listening to what the employees are actually saying, perhaps through social media conversations, and perhaps how the people feel at that time. Uh, digital wellness is not just for HR to comprehend, but also for the entire organization. Working from home or working remotely does not mean convenience, but prolonged exposure to digital tools is detrimental and can lead to stress, which is highly susceptible to depression. So things like kamustahan, things like um, employee engage virtual kamustahan, employee games, webinars, additional training. This can really help employees boost their morale because they know that the company cares, and there are a set of activities that would really benefit the employees. So also another thing that HR can do is to continuously learn, not just HR but for the entire organization, adopt design thinking. Okay, it's actually a creative way of problem solving. Okay, it's not just HR but a collaborative effort of different departments to attract, to engage and delight their employees. It's a continuous process of empathizing, defining, ideate, prototype, and test certain tools or ways that can engage employees. Okay, so this is actually important. So it's not an HR activity only, but it's for the entire organization to do and collaborate for the benefit of the workforce, of the people that provides value to customers, and that's us. So limitations in areas for future research. Well, since the research was delimited to employees of PWU, Binilde in Antipolo, WCC, and Neocomtronics in Greater Manila area, the findings of this study may not apply to other areas in the country. Further research may check other industries aside from the academe, as well as check on how employees cope with depression, which include motivation and inspiration. What motivates them? What inspires them? Okay? So I hope you've learned something new from this, and I really hope that we will all, well, we will all make it. No, definitely, we are all in this together, and have a blessed afternoon. And thank you so much for listening. I'm open for questions. Thank you.
All right. So, sir, open na for questions.
Hello.
At hello, napakadami naming natutunan this afternoon. So, nandito rin ang ating University President, Sir Marco. Good afternoon po. Ayan.
Uh-oh.
So, all
May
in all,
nasabi ba ako di maganda?
maganda naman. Tanungin natin si Sir Marco. Baka may
Yeah, yeah,
question
yeah, yeah.
po siya.
Okay, okay.
Ayan po. So, 33 po tayo lahat sa Google Meet.
Yes.
So, sino po ang gustong magtanong? So, let's maximize the time of our dear Sir Nelson here. So, you can raise hand so that I can call you. Ayan po. Sir Marco, would you like to say something? I think one or
Baka
two.
may memo ko bukas.
Kinakabahan
Just
po siya,
kidding.
Sir Marco. Ayan, ayan na si Sir Marco. Kinakabahan po kasi siya, Sir Marco. Baka mo daw siya ma-memo bukas. Sabi ko, nakamustahan you created, you requested, Doc Lina, for us to have kasi para may safe space. Di po ba?
Yeah.
Safe space.
So I know this is a safe space.
Yes po.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, Dr. Lina, and good afternoon to everyone.
Yeah.
Very interesting presentation, and I guess Nelson articulated a lot of what many of us are feeling, the different anxieties that we are experiencing. Before the pandemic, I'm sure everybody wished that they could have worked from home 2 or 3 days a week. Now that we are working from home 5, 6, sometimes even 7 days a week, I'm sure we all miss uh, seeing each other back on campus. I think it's a little surprising also. I think he mentions one thing about people's what people are feeling, but at the same time still
They can
uh,
still
yeah,
contact
still
contact.
delivering. So that's one thing I'm happy to see. But another thing that maybe hopefully we can discuss or we can get some more insight on would be how everybody sees how we will transition after this pandemic, or as more people get vaccinated, as they say, many experts are saying that this will become endemic, and that we will just have to learn to live with the virus. So I'm also interested to see how people see work from home transitioning in the future, maybe in the next year or so. Thank you.
Yay.
Ayan. So, thank you. Thank you. So, kalma na tayo, Sir
Yes,
Nelson.
yes,
Hindi tayo
yes.
may memo.
Um,
Safe space ito. Yun lang ang tanong ni Sir. Paano
yeah,
na?
I added something pala before I forget po the respondents po, the baby boomers, the 57 to 75 years old, they are actually the most resilient compared to the younger generation who prefer a work-life balance. So, yung ating mga seniors po, sila yung pinaka-resilient, sila yung pinaka-matatag. I'm happy. Nagulat din ako, pero I'm happy to see this. Although the younger ones, they can easily adapt to technology, but the boomers and the Gen X, they are more positive, and they have a positive outlook. More.
Yes. Okay po. So, meron pa pong gusto magtanong, magdagdag, mag-share. So, this is,
Yeah,
yes po. Sir, ayan.
you can share your experience.
Experience, yes, opo. Insights, ganyan.
Hindi po ako nawala ng appetite. Yun po ang hindi nawala.
Baka then you can open your camera so that we can see your face. So, Sir Raul. Yes, Sir Raul.
Hi, hello, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I hope everyone's fine. We've been more than a year already, into this pandemic, work from home, and as a teacher, School of Arts and Sciences, I believe that, well, technology has always been there, ever since even before naman the pandemic. We've been using PowerPoints in classrooms, laptops. Almost all students actually have laptops, no. So my take on this, the pandemic. Yes, it's essential. No, imagine life without doing PowerPoint in our classrooms. No, it's essential, but it's only one, not really small, but one aspect, just one aspect of our daily lives. No, not to we should not be bogged down by too much technology. We should not be what we call this. We should not be a slave to technology, diba? But in fact, we should make it just as a tool. No? So for me, it's more of a tool, and I realize that more, especially that now I've been turning on my laptop every day na talaga compared to before, more frequently, so to speak. That's it. No? So again, technology is just a tool, and we should not be really enslaved by it. No? So that's my comment and thoughts about it. All right, thank you.
Yes po. So, I'm encouraging you to open your camera para makita naman namin kung kaya naman ng ating internet. Ayan. Ayan. Para very interactive tayo. So, meron pa pong gusto mag-share. Thank you, Sir Raul, for sharing. True, ano? Parang ang dami nating nagagawa ngayon. Ayan. So, dahil nakita ko si Ma'am Nancy, alam ko pong hindi ka nakapag-share nung nakaraang kamustahan. Yes, Ma'am Nancy, paki-open nyo lang po ang inyong mic para marinig po namin kayo. Ayan po, pa-unmute. Ma'am Nancy, ano po kaya nangyayari? Hindi namin kayo naririnig.
On na po ang microphone ko.
Ayan, okay
Yan.
na po. Yes po.
Ayan na po.
Thank you.
Okay po. So, anong isi-share ko naman? Okay. So,
Stress ka
yung
pa? Hindi ka pa ba
ah,
stress?
syempre, at first, syempre ang ano natin, work from home and then hinahanapan tayo ng outputs. So, sabi ko, nung una, mga first months natin under work from home scheme, sabi ko, ano naman ang output na i, i- ibibigay ko, ano yung ipapalabas ko. Kasi um, yung work ko naman as CDSEC director, ang ang prime ano ko function is to oversee ano ang ginagawa ng mga branches natin, and then to follow up yung mga requirements like revenue share. Yan sabi ko, parang ang hirap gumawa ng parang ah, na visible or tangible na output. Kasi ang ano ko, everyday calls, tapos sagot ng emails, although emails can be done, answering emails can be done at home. Pero yung ibang work like follow up ng ganito, so nag-worry ako paano ako makakaano ng work outputs. Okay. And then lahat ng files ko nasa school, paano ako gagawa ng reports and so on. So yun yung naging worry ko. But eventually nung medyo nag-ease tayo, ah, pumupunta naman akong nakakapunta naman ako ng school, check on yung mga packages o from the branches and all. So eventually naging used na ako, and then sa bahay naman, uh, I usually start or turn on my laptop at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock kasi I move around pa sa bahay. So, check ko ano bang pwedeng i-launch and so on, na hindi natin ginagawa pag nasa office tayo. Kasi pag sa office, either magbaon ka or you eat at the canteen. Pero pag work from home, iniisip mo pa rin yun. No? And then at the end of the day, ano bang natapos ko ngayon? So, ang ginagawa ko, even before the pandemic, yung supposed to be activities for the following day, sinusulat ko na. Kasi sabi nga, nakakalimutan ko, kasi sabihin na naman nila, it goes with the age. So, sige, accepted ko na yun. So, sabihin na. So, I keep sabi na, yung mga planner ngayon, wala na silang silbi kasi hindi ka na nagpa-plan. Pero sabi ko, lahat naman ng naka-list down yan. Kung ano yung activity, yan, yan ang sample ko. May mga activity. So ano ba yung gagawin ko for the day? Minsan, ang haba-haba. Tapos, everyday, check ko yan. So, at least yung hindi naman sa ng depression because of work, syempre, na-accomplish mo naman yung dapat i-accomplish. Kaya lang minsan, nagkasabay-sabay yung mga tawag. Minsan, pag open ko ng email, kasi I have separate email for for the CVSEC branches. So, minsan mag-open ko 20 emails. So, it will take me a whole day to answer all of their queries. Sabi ko, parang wala ka nang magawa pang iba. So, yun, hindi naman siya, with regards to the work. Yung mga first weeks siguro natin, that was siguro for for everybody na nag-work, paano yun, baka hindi kami swelduhan, baka ganito. Pero di ba, siguro lahat tayo, ganun yung apprehensions natin. But, okay, thank you to PWU, yung pa rin ang they kept us uh, in our duties. Okay, hindi po nila tayo pinabayaan, and with the support. And then let me take this opportunity to thank uh, the PWU management supporting me through the sabihin mo bang crisis yon, o hard times, kasi I was uh, I was COVID positive, tapos lahat naman ng especially dun sa clinic when I was in the hospital, okay na everyday po nag-email sila, kinukumusta ako. And then just a few weeks ago, my husband passed away, and yung support po ng administration, wala akong masabi. So, thumbs up. Thank you po, Sir Marco, and all in the administration. So, tapos sabi nga ni Ma'am Mirasol, para hindi ka malungkot, binigyan na naman ako ng isang trabaho to be the overall chair ng university recognition. So, yun. So, parang yung sabihin mo na depression, na wala na. Ang mo ngayon is how to balance your time, how to manage your time, and so on. Okay. So, thank you po, Sir Marco, and all the administration officers for supporting me throughout these hard times. Thank you po.
Ayan. So, God bless daw po, Doc Nancy from Sir Marco. Ayan. Pwede nyo rin gamitin yung chat box para super interactive tayo. So, you can raise your hand so that I can see you and then call you. Tapos po, you can use your chat box also for any insight, comment, sharing, ganyan. And then I can read it for you. So, anybody else? Safe space naman tayo. So, ang galing, So, may space rin tayo to have the chance to say thank you to PW management. Ayan. Actually, truly as a family, sabi ko nga kanina kay Sir Nelson, mukhang patagalan yung mga tao sa PW, 40 years, 30 years. Ibig sabihin nun, talagang pag tumatagal ka sa isang sa pinagtatrabahuhan mo, pamilya ka, hindi ka lang basta empleyado. At saka nararamdaman yung pagmamahal, yung pagpapahalaga sa iyo. Hindi lang bilang empleyado nila, kung hindi kasama ka na nila at kapamilya ka na nila. Yun eh. Alright, so meron pa po ba? O magtatawag ako? Mamaya na kita tatawagin, Doc Lina. Meron pa po ba? Parang I'm not seeing hands anymore. Question po from Sir Nelson's presentation. Although kayo nag-worry siya, pero hindi naman pala nakaka-worry. At maganda po yung pinag-aaralan niya. So maganda rin na pag hindi siya nakakatulog, Sir Freddy, ginagawa niya po ay mga paper. Nagre-research po siya. Tapos, ayun po, doon po busy. Ayan si Sir Fred. So kanina rin kasi doon sa research na nakikita, yung epekto is also yung lack of sleep. Ganyan po. Pero dahil sa inyo rin, Sir Fred, nakakatulog na kami. Tsaka yung mga Milo, tinigilan na namin yan. Tapos yung mga Coke, konti na lang po.
Konti na lang. Mas meron pa.
Ayan po. Ayan. So, sino pa po? Ang dami natin dito eh. 33. So, padami tayo ng padami dito. Pwede ba ako mag-roll call? Ayan po. Pwede ko bang tawagin si Sir Pao? Sir Pao? Ay, Sir Paolo, andiyan ka pa ba? Sir
Hello po.
Paolo of
Ayan, nabunot po ako.
Ayan.
Nabunot.
Nabunot ka kasi nanalo ka nung nasa co-op tayo. Remember? So, dahil nanalo ka ng 200 pesos
100 pesos.
at sigurado naming loaded ka ngayon. So, it's time for you to ask Sir Nelson a question or
Actually,
to share.
sharing na lang po siguro. Kasi hindi po ako totally nakapasok ng maaga po kasi may meeting kami. While ago. So sa akin siguro, kung ano ko din, ipapasok ko din yung insight ko dun sa naabutan ko sa sharing ni Sir Nelson. I think siguro yung paano ba to? Ay sorry, medyo maingay po, pasensya na. Ano po, siguro po sa mga naranasan ko from the past months, in the entire pandemic nun, or in the current pandemic natin, siguro I think yung yung way ng paano tayo magre-response, no? Magre-response sa mga concerns or issues ng mga nag-i-email sa atin. Tsaka kung paano yung yung way ng paano natin mamamanage yung time natin para hindi tayo maging loaded sa ating mga trabaho, no? Kasi naniniwala kasi ko na parang kailangan mo rin i-implore yung understanding and patience ng mga nag-i-email sa'yo kasi sometimes you have to prioritize and practice self-care, no? Yun din ako naniniwala. And it's just, but in my opinion, no, it's not just on the numbers, but on how the quality of your work, no? Kung na-target mo ba talaga yung quality na dapat na maibigay sa isang kausap mo, no? On our part, no? Tsaka syempre naman kasi kung kahit hindi naman ganong kabilis yung yung pagsagot mo, kahit nasa slower pace ka, at least you are more careful and more responsive, no? Para at least for not just on your benefit, but on the benefit also ng kausap mo sa email. Tsaka syempre kailangan mo din i-limit yung sa working schedule mo kasi sometimes no, you have to prioritize yourself and your family or loved ones. Kasi syempre ang pinaka natin dito is your mental health as well. Kasi kailangan natin i-promote yung rest. Ayun. Thank you so much po.
Okay.
I
Thank
can
you,
relate to that. Thank you, Sir Paulo. Kasi ma'am, share ko lang din. Minsan, pagbukas ko ng email, more than 100, nakatunga nga lang ako, nakatingin ako, tagal ko nakatingin. Anong uunahin ko dito?
Sobrang dami po talaga. Nasabi mo, paano ko kaya ito masasagot within the day? But the thing is, sometimes, may FIFO naman tayong tinatawag, no? First in, first out. Pero syempre po, sir, ang sa akin din doon is kung ano yung kaya at ano yung mga importante, ano yung mga dapat i-prioritize for the entire day. So syempre, the rest naman is will follow at they will understand naman, no? Yung condition nyo po. Thank you po. Ayan. We should be more understanding in this kind of pandemic.
Yeah.
Ayan. Ayan. So, sir,
May I, Sarah?
yes,
May I just
yes.
follow through?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dr. Del.
Kasi nasabi ni Paolo na one of the results of the study actually ni Nelson is that stress, no, and depression are linked together. Now, I would like to ask guidance if they have seen an increase in the numbers of our employees or students seeking more assistance now, especially during this pandemic. Mas dumami ba ang numbers? Because this would also confirm the results of Nelson's study. Paolo, are you familiar? Are you aware of the numbers?
Of those po ba na nag-a-ask po sa amin ng help po or ano po?
Yes. Kung
As much as
nag-increase ba?
possible, actually po most naman po ng ginagawa po namin, Doc, is nag-ano na po agad kami, nagro-routine na po kami agad and nag-i-initial po sa mga bagong pumapasok po sa atin. Para at least po mas maaga po, mas naagapan po natin yung paghingi po nila ng request. So doon pa lang po sa initial interview pa lang po, nagagawa na po agad namin ng
Okay.
po,
Alright.
nare-resolve na po agad po namin.
Okay.
Para at least
Pero,
po, on that meantime, manlelesen din po yung po namin, magiging problem po namin.
yeah, good.
Yes.
But what about from the employees? Has there been anybody from the PWU family that sought your help for counseling or what? Or baka sa labas sila humingi?
Ay, wala pa po kami na-encounter na ganun po. More of lang po kami, more of coordination po with the SL and the po, yung po namin, ng students po to their professors or faculty po. Yun
I
po
was just
yung-
wondering, Nelson, yung resulta ng test mo probably kung talaga nag-increase yung depression among our employees, this would also mean that they would be seeking help somewhere. Pero wala tayong data on that, no? Except
Hindi
maybe sa
po.
HR, I don't know.
We don't have a data, ma'am, on that.
Kasi now, you have data on that?
Wala po, ma'am. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to track that anymore.
Oo. Yeah. Kasi that would confirm your findings. Kasi ang stress kasi, there were other studies that indicated walang link ang stress with depression. It's one of the factors, but it doesn't always lead to depression. Parang yun ang kanilang study. Pero, no, I'm not gonna mention this already sa closing ko. Pero actually, there was one study, European Foundation did a study on improvement of living and working conditions, no? And they found out that 41% of those who work from home experience stress, compared to only 25% of those who were working in the office who experience stress. So talagang working from home, talagang tumataas talaga ang stress level mo, no? Unfortunately. Pero marami naman ang medyo nakagusto ng work from home. Pero siguro it has to be within the context, no? Kasi as you said, it could be the age group, could be the millennials or the Gen X, whatever, no? Na who are more parang they feel more adjusted to the situation, no? They can live with it, while the others cannot live with it and therefore are more stressed. Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to actually find the literature doc relate dun sa connection ng stress tsaka depression. So may link talaga sila, but in terms of cases, parang ang hirap doc sa Philippine setting eh. They will not admit it eh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just take another study. Yeah. Another study. Yeah. Good. Very good.
Yeah. Meron po from Miss Elaine Morente. Thank you for sharing your thesis with us. As you mentioned, and we also observed that the baby boomers are more resilient because we easily cope up. Can we identify if it's depression or just may pinagdadaanan lang as it is known now? How to determine po?
Okay. That's actually a good question. Well, based on facts, because I'm not a medical doctor, I'm very careful with the words, no. But according to the literature po, and as well as anecdotal evidence, na if that particular sadness or loneliness prolong, or maybe you've been experiencing that for quite some time, then there's a higher probability or a high probability that a person is suffering from not just stress but depression. Because chronic stress can be short-lived according to studies, but if it takes you more than 4 weeks na and you're still experiencing that kind of condition, then then that person might be experiencing depression or meron siyang susceptibility for depression. Ayun po. So for that matter, I think, well, in the US or in UK, they can seek professional help. But in the Philippines, talagang if we can hide it, we were going to hide it eh. Pero it's how we fight labanan yung mga negative thoughts eh. I know it's not easy, but I think the solution there is to talk to your friends, to your family members, and of course your faith. It will also help.
Mhm.
Yeah, opo.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
hindi talagang hindi pa gano'n ka tanggap sa Pilipinas na pwede ka agad mag-consult. Minsan din, 'di ba, sasabihin, "Oh, may pinagdadaanan ka lang, okay lang 'yan." So may mga ganyan. Tapos meron
Actually, ma'am, two of my sisters, they are psychologists, clinical.
clinical.
Ayoko mag-consult sa kanila. Maybe because bias, pero ayoko. They know the terminologies, they know how to do this and that, pero ayaw.
Parang minsan mahirap din tanggapin yung
Oo.
It takes acceptance eh.
Oo.
It takes acceptance that you have this, and if you want to seek help,
Mm-mm.
then you could, di ba? Pero
yes.
kung if you don't accept na, ay, nothing's wrong with me, ay, nothing will happen to you, definitely.
Yeah.
Pero ang depression, kasi if you had it for about 2 weeks, talagang there's already a clinical
Yeah.
issue. No?
Tama mo.
Kaya, yeah, that's what you just have to watch out.
Mm-mm.
Ayan. So pwede ko pong tanungin si Ma'am Corita Uzon ng ating library. Tama po ba? From the library group. Ayan po. From Team Library. Andiyan po ba siya? Yes po. May tanong po ba kayo? Ma'am Uzon? Corita?
Hi, hello.
Hello po.
Hello, Miss Sarah and everyone.
Hello po.
Yes. Uh, regarding work from home, no? Uh, ay, wait.
Yes ma'am. Continue. Yes ma'am. Regarding work.
Hello.
Yes ma'am.
Yes, regarding work from home, no? Surely it is challenging and stressful. Tsaka talagang it's very difficult because you have to uh, balance your work between your uh, work from home tasks at saka yung mga household chores. But then, we in the library, we try to maintain a positive attitude and lots of prayers lang. And then we usually hold meetings, no? Yung mga Google meetings namin. And we also have our own version of Kamustahan. So meron kaming sharing every time we have library meetings. So somehow,
That's good.
so somehow, yung tension namin, yung stress, nai-ease yan whenever
That's
we
good.
share. That's
Very
what
good.
we are doing to keep our sanity because of the long periods of quarantine, tsaka kasi yung what do you call this, yung mga requests from our students, ang dami. They are in great demand, tapos ang pinakamalaking ang what do you call this, ang pinakamalaking challenge doon is when we are not in the school kasi some of the information that the users are asking from us can only be taken from the physical books. So we don't have this physical collection of books in our home. So ano lang, kung sino lang yung present sa library, then we ask their help. So, coordination lang. And then, with regards to electronic resources naman, we download a digital resource and we give this to our students and faculty to support their online education and teaching. And ayun, we are happy that we are able to support them despite the difficult times. Tapos, of course, with the support of the higher ups headed by Sir Marco, we are very thankful kasi they never cease to give support to our needs in the library. So, yun lang. So nandun pa rin yung zest namin to help, to support our library users despite the challenges and the difficulties. Basta ganun lang, laban lang. Basta masaya naman kami pag nag-uusap kami during our meetings kasi may sharing kami lagi.
Mhm.
Ayun.
Yan.
Thank
Good.
you.
Very good. Very good. I like that.
Thank
Yes.
you, ma'am.
So may laban. At nakita ko
Yes.
ang taga-HR. Miss Zara, ako po si Sarah. Baka naman pwede kitang mahingan.
Hi, ma'am. Actually, I'm typing in the chat box. I'm going to share about our self-care kit for PW employees. So I'll just send it. Yan.
Yes.
So ayun din po. I just want to share that in the HR part we are having different kinds of webinars and our self-care. Yung sinabi kanina ni Sir Nasa na it is very important for HR people to have a social listening, di ba sir? Tapos, yun, is parang isa siya sa part ng, on the first part ng transition pa tayo,
Ha?
parang isa siya sa ginagawa namin, we conduct surveys, kinakamusta natin yung employees natin on their well-being. And then, yun nga po, last May, we conducted this self-care webinar together with the guidance office. Si Miss Christine Meron po ang ating naging speaker during that webinar. So, ayun po. And then since ayun nga po, since we're still adjusting and managing our works and times, having this work from home, yung second webinar naman po na kinonduct natin was the work from home survival guide, which yung mga naging topics is how to adjust in the new normal. Of course, coping mechanisms or coping mechanisms for burnouts due to the work from home situation. Ayun po. And then, of course, the self-care. So, yung parang insight ko lang po dito, of course, is we have, since, yun nga po, yung parang naano ko din kanina yung kay Sir Nelson, yung pag narinig mo yung Viber mo, narinig mo may nag-email, parang medyo nakakaano siya, hindi pa ako tapos sa ganito, ganyan. Medyo ano siya, ano ng puso. Parang, may something, there's a work-related, kahit minsan hindi
Trabaho
na
na
siya.
naman.
No comment ako dun sa Viber, ha? May timing yun eh.
Trabaho
Ayun
na
po.
naman.
Kahit
Andiyan
minsan,
na naman si Bossing.
kahit hindi naman po siya, kahit minsan di po siya related sa work, basta marinig mo lang yung ano, parang in your sense na, Viber, kanino yon? Kaakin ba yon? Parang ganon.
Mm.
But yun nga po, we personally dahil kami din po yung nag-conduct ng webinars, I really din po parang know on how the things or the adjustment I can do to to improve yung mga different aspects in my work naman for work from home. So ayun po, kagaya ng sabi po kanina ni Sir Pau, self-care is very very important since now work from home, yung time on the work is parang mas extended siya compared sa mga sa face to face natin. But yun nga, kaya po parang in-encourage ko rin po yung each one of us na we can check po na meron po tayong self-care kit for our PW employees. Nandun po yung mga activities na kung saan if ever we feel so stressed, meron po tayong doon mga exercises or meditation kung ano pong pwede natin gawin or gamitin when this stress are kicking up. So, yun po. So, ayan lang po.
Sarah?
Thank you po.
Sarah?
Yes, Doc Lina, yes.
Sarah, si Sarah, Sarah from HR.
Sino po?
Ano ko kasi
Ako
ako
po.
Kaya
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to link you up with what Nelson was saying regarding one of the findings wherein he said that
Yes po.
some employees work up to 9 hours, no, especially with intermittent interruption, no, sa 9 hours. Baka gusto nyo to help the employees manage their time. I don't know whether this is your toolkit, but iba yung meron kayong parang face-to-face, even online, pero face-to-face, na makakita nila yung how you're going to help them manage their work at home. Para hindi naman palagi sila biro mo 9 hours. Ako nga after 2 hours to 3 hours, medyo my eyes get blurry, and all of that, and I feel tired. So I have to tell myself to cut it off. And maybe some of us don't have that kind of discipline. It's very hard, especially when you work, you're with the flow, right? As
Yes,
Seligman said, being happy with the flow. So sometimes you forget when to stop. So siguro I we teach our employees to have a time limit to what they're doing and then have a break, short break before they go back again to their work. Para hindi naman nila masyado, hindi sila masyado ma-stress sa trabaho nila. Yun lang ang gusto ko bring to your attention, Sarah, from
Yes,
HR.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Noted po. Part of it po, I think, was actually discussed during the work from home survival guide on how can we set our time. Maybe we can have another session for that, a more advanced session on how we can really dissect or manage our times and when we can take our breaks and to resume para syempre may mga breaks in between para naman makapag-relax or nakapag-refresh yung sarili natin to do the work po. But I will take note of that po. Thank you very much po, Dr. Laika.
And so, iti-take note, Doc Lina, huwag kang mag-alala. Talagang balikan natin yung ating classroom, Google Classroom on self-care kasi maraming pwedeng gawin doon. Like mga mindfulness thing, meditation. You can also do short exercises, ganyan. Tsaka, totoo yan, listen to our body. Ayan. Kasi talagang may sagad, may limit lang on what our body can do. So, Sir Nelson, before I call on for the closing, Doc Lina, would you like to give us some parting words or important points that you'd like us to have as takeaway?
I'm actually interested if we have an online Zumba. Just kidding.
Yeah, why not? Yes, why
Yeah,
not?
that's possible. Innovative ways to to cope with stress. But then for me, yeah, you're correct, Miss Sarah. Listen to your body and take a break. Well, work at the end of the day will still be work, no? But I'm guilty of this because I have the tendency to push myself, work more than 8 hours. May ganun akong tendency. But yeah, you should know when to stop. And of course, have me time and family time at the end of the day. And of course, pray, meditate, um, uh, pray to God for wisdom and guidance, so that you will be able to keep your sanity despite of the adversities and the challenges that you're facing every day. Especially those employees na they are living independently, solo. I know it's not easy, but we can make it.
All right. So, sir, thank you very much for that.
My
So,
pleasure.
to close, close na, Doc Lina. I'd like to call in our director for the Institute of Family Life and Children's Study. Ayan, Doc Lina Laico.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Nelson, salamat gid. Salamat gid sa sharing mo with your study. I'm so happy that you did that. You know, Nelson, I would like to tell everybody that Nelson did this on his own. Actually, he didn't have to, but he did this on his own. So parang it was an initiative on his part to do this kind of thing because he experienced the depression during the lockdown. So it's it's an unpleasant experience, but resulted to a very pleasant result. So thank you very much, Nelson, for that. Ha? Actually, madami na ako nasabi earlier, no? Pero there's just two things that we need to remember. You know, during this lockdown, and to prevent stress and depression especially, let us strengthen our connections. Very, very important. I'm so glad when Miss Purita said that sa library team niya, they created a chat group which is very, very helpful. I think they talk to each other, they nagkakamustahan din sila, no? And a lot of you in the crowd, no, can do your own chat groups, no, to be able to connect with each other. You know, ang depression kasi and suicide is when people don't listen. You don't have anybody to talk to, wala lang nakikinig sa inyo, and it worsens the situation. So create and do your connections, strengthen your connections, no? Please do that. The other one that I wanted to emphasize also, other than the connection, than the create connection, is for you to create your schedule, your daily schedule. You just don't know what a routine does for us. A routine gives us some normalcy, some expectations of what's going to be next. So hindi tayo naaabala, hindi tayo nag-worry, ay may gagawin pa ako. So a routine and coming up with a schedule, daily schedule, is always helpful. So I think all of us should do that. For instance, ako in the morning, when I wake up, fix the bed, I do my short prayers, my short morning prayers, and then breakfast, and then Mr. Laiho and I would hear mass online, and then we go walking, no? We go walking, and then I start my work for the day. So kuminsan, I don't, no? But I read the papers, I do my Sudoku, I love it. I do my crossword. Those are the things that I do. Tapos sa gabi naman, we do a family rosary through Zoom. So itong mga daily schedule na ito, it keeps you sane. It keeps you sane. It helps. It's a sense of normalcy that helps you really keep sane. So I hope that you're able to do that. And of course, yung toolkit na sinasabi ni Sarah earlier, I think we should all take a look at that again. And doon, we can do Zumba, we can dance even at home. If you don't go walking, you can do Zumba or workout exercise at home. Again, because mental health is not just mental health, but it's also physical health. State of mind of being mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy. So let's all remember that, huh? We have to remain healthy during this pandemic. We have to remain productive. We have to be able to cope with our stresses. Huwag tayo magpa-stress masyado. Let's look at all the triggers. Ano ba itong nag-trigger ng stress ko? No, I don't want to go into depression. I will not go into depression. Ano ba itong stress? I last time, in fact, in my talks with the students at TLS, Transformation Learning System, we talked about self-esteem, and we did talk about stress a little bit and what triggers it. Because stress lowers your self-esteem, especially if you go down to depression already. So, my dear friends, my dear colleagues, thank you again for listening to us. Thank you for joining our Kamustahan. Thank you very much, Nelson. Salamat din ka, madamo.
My pleasure,
Nelson is
ma'am.
And to all of you, thank you very, very much. Sarah, thank you.
Ayan. So, thank you very much, Doc Lina. So, kamustahan na natin ito. And I was really parang excited sa susunod kasi bago rin siya from PWU and he volunteered. So, na-inspire sila every kamustahan. So, nagbo-volunteer na sila. Kaya, Doc.
Very good, very good. We should listen more to our colleagues.
Yes po. Hindi na tayo masistress maghanap ng ating experts. Kasi andyan na yung mga
Very
jobs.
good.
Ang dito lang po pala sila sa ating kumustahan. They just need to be asked to be, to share kung ano yung meron sila. At napakayaman po natin sa ating resources, internal resources.
Share yourself, guys.
Yan po. So, maraming salamat, Sir Nelson, for sharing. And for everyone na nandito, madami pa rin naman tayo. So, 29 pa rin tayo here. So, Sir Marco, maraming salamat for staying on. Ayan. At saka yung mga magpapasalamat rin ni Sir Marco sa chat box. Pansinin niyo yung chat box. May mga sinusulat siya doon. Ayan po. So, maraming salamat sa nag-share this afternoon. So, Sir, may sabihin ka pa ba? Meron pa naman tayong 1 minute, Sir Marco.
I just wanted to thank Dr. Lago, thank IFLCS, Sarah, for this initiative. I think it is one of the big reasons why the PW community has remained strong throughout almost 17 months. And it's really different because there's no physical connection. There's hardly any physical connection, but through sessions like this, we're still able to see how everybody is doing. And I hope everybody continues to stay safe. And it seems like this is going to be a marathon rather than a sprint. So, like Dr. Lina says, let's have our own individual routines, stay connected, stay strong in terms of your faith and in terms of your connections with your family. I think that's really the secret. So thank you once again. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend. Thank you, Sir Marco.
Yes, Sir Marco, baka naman din mahingan ka namin. Ano ba ang gusto mong ibigay sa amin sa Kumustahan.
Ayan.
Moral support.
moral support po talaga. Ayaw niyo po mag-main resource.
Tingnan natin, maybe in the
Ayan
future.
mo, yeah.
Yes,
Sir,
sige.
sir, may
Mahanap
more
tayo.
ayuda?
May mahanap tayo diyan. May mahanap tayo para kay Sir Marco.
Yes po.